The objective here is 8.1 to 8.3. I can find the volume of cylinders, cones, and spheres. Okay, so the biggest thing here is just going to be plugging things into a formula. So for a cylinder, the formula is pi times the radius squared times height. So if I look at a cylinder, the base of a cylinder is a circle. And so to find the area of the base, we do pi times radius squared. Last year you learned that area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. To find the volume, or how much space this whole shape takes up, you find the area of the base and then multiply that by the height. That's where we get the pi r squared times height. So on this first example, my radius from the center of the circle to the edge is 5 centimeters. The height is 8.3 centimeters. So we write volume equals pi. For pi, we're going to use 3.14 to approximate pi, times the radius squared. The radius is 5, times 8.3. I have to do exponents first, so I do 5 squared, which is 25. So I have 3.14 times 25 times 8.3, and I can just type that all into my calculator. So I get 3.14 times 25 times 8.3, which is 651.55. It doesn't say what to round to, so I'll just leave it like that. And the units here need to be cubic centimeters. That's how many little cubes would fit inside of this cylinder. The second one says find the volume of a cylinder with a height of 5 millimeters and a diameter of 12 millimeters. We need the radius for our formula. So if the diameter is 12 millimeters, that means all the way across the circle is 12. So the radius would be halfway across, which is 6 millimeters. So I will do volume equals pi, we're going to use 3.14, times my radius squared times the height of 5. So 6 squared is 6 times 6, which is 36. So we have 3.14 times 36 times 5. So I have 3.14 times 36 times 5, which is 565.2 cubic millimeters. Whenever we're doing volume, we should have cubic units because we're seeing how many cubes will fit inside of this. The next shape is a cone. The cone is 1/3 of the cylinder. So it's basically the same formula. It's pi times the radius squared times the height divided by 3. Or you could say 1/3 times pi times the radius squared times the height. So we'll do these two examples. This one says find the volume of a cube below round to the nearest tenth. This gives us the diameter. That means the radius would be 12 millimeters. So I'll plug everything into my formula. Volume equals 3.14 times 12 squared times the height of the cone is 26 divided by 3. So one thing that's important to note on this one is the height means how far is it from the base to the tip. And the radius is always located on the circular base. So base doesn't mean bottom. Base means the circle on a cone. And the height doesn't mean how tall it is, it means how far is it from the base to the tip. So we do exponents first. So that's 12 squared is 144. So I have 3.14 times 144 times 26 divided by 3. Again, you could multiply by 1/3 instead, but I like to divide by 3. It says round to the nearest tenth, so I get 3,918.7 cubic millimeters. I'm going to have you do this one for your video answer. You're going to submit this on Canvas. And then let's go on to spheres. So the volume of a sphere, the formula is 4/3 pi times the radius cubed this time. 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. So for this one, it says a spherical stone in the courtyard of the National Museum of Costa Rica has a diameter of about 8 feet. Find the volume of the stone. So again, if the diameter is 8 feet, that means the radius is 4 feet, because the radius is half the diameter. So I have 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. And I have to do exponents first. So 4 cubed means 4 times 4 times 4, that's 64. So I have 4/3 times pi times 64, which is, if we round to the nearest, I'm going to round to the nearest tenth, so it's 267.9 cubic feet. Type that one in again just to make sure. Yeah, I got the same thing. Okay, our last one. Find the volume of the sphere with a diameter of 22 feet.